Alright, here's how this video opens. New shirt! Look at that. Can you guess what this is from? Can you guess? What could possibly have Kirby and Robotnik on the same thing? You only get one guess. If you get it right, you get a cookie. Welcome friends, Lost Scarf here, and it's time for the vlog. And there are only 3 things to talk about. First up is, did you see the top 10? Did you agree? Did you disagree? What do you think? Okay, it's fun playing all those games. It's going to be a very fun time this year, because going to part 2, the end of the month is going to be Pokemon Arceus, and I'm going to play it, I'm going to record it, and maybe it'll get streamed, maybe it'll get on the main channel. Who knows? Maybe. Like, Sword and Shield was really good. I also started doing Brilliant Diamond. Brilliant Diamond is not as tight as Sword and Shield, so I'm either going to delete those recordings or put them on the side channel. Who knows? I just stopped playing it. I got to go back on it because I got to justify paying $60. But that's at the end of the month is Arceus. Hopefully it's really good. At the end of February is Elden Ring. That is totally getting on the channel because it's Elden Ring. Because, of course, it's Elden Ring. In case you don't know what Elden Ring is, it's open world Dark Souls. Which, like, Dark Souls was not exactly open world, but, like, there was a lot of moving around you could do in Dark Souls, but now it's going to be full on open world. Which I assume means there's going to be, like, a different order to fighting bosses. Like, there's probably going to be a lot of bosses you can fight right at the start. Not at the start, but, like, you get to a point where this is the number of things you can fight in at any point. That's the same thing with Dark Souls already, but just more so, I guess? And then at the end of March is, of course, Kirby's Forgotten Lands. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So that trailer came out this week. It's like, oh, okay. And we're still wondering if people are vindicated about whether or not that one Waddle Dee is Bandana D, but Bandana D is officially Kirby's Player 2 if he wasn't already solidified a couple games ago. Gooey was Kirby's Player 2 in one game. Everybody was Kirby's Player 2 in Superstar, of course. Like, Gooey was his Player 2 in Dreamland 3. And then Waddle Dee was his Player 2 in Kirby Fighters 2 and in Battle Royale. I don't know of any other... There's no other games where he's his Player 2. This is the 3rd time he's his Player 2, so it pretty much solidifies it, I think, for a lot of people that, yeah, this is Kirby's Player 2 now, is Waddle Dee. Bandana D. And, yeah, I'm hyped for it, and everyone assumes the flying mouse flying mouse squirrel thing is evil, because Magolor and Marks, but how many allies have not been evil? You know, Ribbon, and... well, Adeline used to be an adversary. Ribbon, Eline, probably others I can't think of at the top of my head. Most of the time, Kirby has run into antagonists than allies, but I think it'll be an ally. I think it'll be an ally. And it's cool to see Drill Kirby and Gun Kirby. Everyone's going crazy about Gun Kirby because it's called Ranger Kirby. It's totally Safari Kirby. If you give him a mustache, it's Safari Kirby. He's got the rifle, like, the weapon that those Safari guys carried all the time. It's not exactly... like, it just looks like the Safari gun, that's the best way to put it. But it is a pun, and the pun is Kirby is shooting stars. It's a gun that shoots stars. He's shooting stars. It's a freaking pun gun, which is amazing. But I'm excited to play it, I really can't wait. And there are going to be some online features. I'm hoping that means online co-op. Because that could be cool. Which means we get to force Jinx to play online co-op. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. We'll see. I'm hoping for more lore, of course, and more answers and things like that. By the way, the newest Kirby's Dreamcast is going to be coming out eventually. A lot of work has been done on it already. That'll be part 4, which would be Revenge of Meta Knight and Samurai Kirby. And after that will be the rest of it. With Milky Way Wishes and the sound test and all that. That should be part 5. And then part 6 will be ranking the OST, which will be fun. I've already done the groundwork on the OST. I've already made the whole ranking. I just have to make the video. And that's the bonus video. but it won't come out until after the other stuff comes out. Anything else? Nothing else really coming up. Okay, so if you like or hate this hair, news, not good or bad, it's changing. This hair is going to get cut. It's gonna stay longish. I want to see what the style they can do to it. But I'm gonna lose some of this hair because I'm gonna have it styled up because I'm having a job interview to become a supervisor soon. It's at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. It's almost here. And so, since it's almost here, you gotta look presentable, and this ain't presentable necessarily. Like, you can clean it up and make it nice, like, and go for, like, some, like, maybe, like, a feathered look, or a very ponytailed look. Or go, like, double pony in the back or something. Seriously, I can, like, cosplay Mitsurugi now with the freaking how crazy this is starting to look. But, yeah, this is gonna get styled up a bit. It's not gonna be as wild as it has been, because honestly, yeah, it does look messy, don't it? Also, trying to get dates, so would also do my hair better for dates as well. Speaking of that, so job interview's coming, and I've been practicing what I'm gonna say at this job interview for at least 2 months, because that's when the application started. Over a month ago. It's been maybe 30, 40 days. That's not 2 months. It's like a month, and so I've been practicing and thinking about it over and over again every day. I've just been going crazy preparing for this interview. And so, yeah, I'm gonna get the haircut and everything. I'm gonna wear something nice. I want to have them take a bunch of pictures wearing something nice with the haircut. I'm gonna use that for dating profiles and probably get on eHarmony or Match. Like, eHarmony costs more than Match, but these are the ones that are the most well known to get couples together. So maybe I just do both. Maybe just do both. Maybe I'll just do both. And so expect just a nice looking scarf coming up. So now the why. So we haven't done a why in a month. So this is the why I wanted to talk about a month ago. About a month since I thought about it. And the why, of course, is why am I afraid of dying? So this is going to be a interesting one here. We're not going to go too long on it because you could just lose your mind. You go on too long about anything. But why am I afraid of dying? Well, one thing when it comes to death is you can't always control it, of course. All you do in life really is put up or put down your odds of when it'll happen. Eating really unhealthily could hasten your death. But also if you just practice very bad, just, drinking and driving or drugs or a bunch of different things could hasten your time to the end. Like, you could live as healthy as possible and still get hit by a train. I meant a plane. By the way, a couple months ago, a dude flying a private plane, has a heart attack. And his plane crashes. And it crashes into a UPS truck that was parked next to a house. And the delivery man was in the truck, and he was killed. And the house was lit on fire. Luckily, the residents got out. So this guy was just going to work. He was just working, doing his job, parking at a house to deliver a package, and the plane hits him. The odds of that are insane. If he goes just a little bit later on a stoplight, he wouldn't have been in that spot. Or if he delivered a little bit faster, he wouldn't have been in that spot. But he was there, and it just took him out. My boss actually knew this guy. The delivery man was apparently a really nice guy who would sit there or stand there and talk with whoever wanted to talk. He was just very friendly. And so it's interesting to know that from my boss. Like, okay, this is just a really friendly guy. He'd be there, he's doing packages, just a nice guy. A very friendly guy, apparently a very fit guy. And he dies from a plane hitting him. You don't expect that, of course. So that's the thing, is you can live horribly. You can live deliciously. You could live so many different ways, and then a plane could hit you. And then you're just out. And that is life. Life is a lot of doing your best to whatever goals you have, or doing your worst at them if you're in that mindset as well. And then maybe everything you do has no consequence and you just get hit by a plane. That's how random life can be. That's how nuts it can be. But still, barring the randomest things happening, you do have a lot of control over what happens to you. How you treat others can reflect and eventually affect how your life goes. How you treat your body, how you treat just anything. How much work you put into thinking, how much work you put into learning, how much work you put into monetary gain, how much time you put into different things. Just whatever you do will affect things in different ways, of course. Me, I think for I don't know how many years, for the longest time I was like, I'm going to live to 100. That's what I've thought for a very long time. For a very long time, because medicine's gotten better. And even like since high school, maybe I think I thought about this, like I will live to 100. Because medicine's gotten better, because quality of life has gotten better, and all these things. But there are some people who are very parasitic to older people, so it's unfortunate. But maybe it'll be better by the time I get there. I've seen quite a few people in old folks' homes, and in America, no, I don't wish that on anyone. It's a terrible place. Old folks' homes and assisted living homes, they're terrible in America. I hope they're better in other countries. In America, you just don't want that for you. And you don't want that for anyone you love. I swear to God. I've seen them. They're terrible. You can have saints in there, but because of how many people need to work those things, there are plenty of people who just do not care. And it's awful. But so for the longest time, I've thought, I'll live to 100. Then I'll die. And I've always thought about like that movie Death, where you're just surrounded by family and you just like, goodbye, and then you're gone. And who knows how it'll actually go. Maybe it'll be a heart attack or this or that, or maybe we figure out immortality by then. Or multiverse theory, you never die. In one reality, while the other ones you do die. You become the one. So of course, everyone's scared of dying, unless you really truly believe in the afterlife, of course. But it's hard to when you think too much. When you think too much, you think of every possibility, every potential. That's why you think of the multiverse. You think of heaven and hell. You think of different versions of the afterlife. Or you think there's nothing at all. You are what you were before you were born. You were in this kind of sleep where you didn't exist. And then after you'll be in a sleep where you don't exist. And I find none of them comforting. Now, the one thing is, I forget the guy now, and I should have looked it up before I got into this. There's a guy where it's like the rule or the principle of living a good life, and that is, whether there's an afterlife or not, you should live a good life. Because if there is an afterlife, well, then you'll be eternally rewarded. And if there is no afterlife, well, then obviously you lived a better life, because if you were kind to other people, they'll be kind to you back, and you left the world a better place. Now, I like to believe in that one for sure. I definitely like to believe in that. I've never tried to be a good person because I want to be rewarded in the afterlife. I've never been a good person because I want to be rewarded in life. I've been a good person because we're all in this together. We can lighten the load on each other and make them heavier, and I've always felt about making the load lighter for each other. So I live a good life not to motivate afterlife, but just to be a good person. And I hope there is an afterlife, and I'm hoping like there's the idealist version where it's just perfect and everyone gets to be there, or at least good people get to be there. Or maybe, there's all these different comics. Oh, geez, it got blurry? How did that happen? There's, of course, different ideas of what the afterlife could be. Where, by the way, The Good Place is a really entertaining show. The Good Place is probably my favorite sitcom of all time. That was a really good one where it's just, you just exist in the afterlife and you just live in a community. It's interesting. Who knows what it will be, but I'm hoping if there is an afterlife, it's a place where I get to just see everyone I care about again. That'd be nice. Now, if there is no afterlife, well then, I hope I left a good mark. Because yeah, you can get very existential about it all, where just millions and millions of years have passed, and millions of years will pass. And, well, we were just a slight moment in that time. You can feel very small, while your life just feels very big to yourself. You can do that if you want. Mentally, I just, since it's all relative, don't bother thinking about how small you are, just live your life. But what I'm afraid of is not necessarily, because dying is a thing that has to happen. I'm hoping it's not painful, and I hope it's not something... Yeah, I just hope it's not painful. I hope it doesn't suck. I hope it's... I don't know. I hope it doesn't suck. I guess that's the best way to put it. But I think what scares me more, well, there's two things that scare me more. The most scareful things for me. What scares me more is dying too early. Dying before I accomplish certain goals. And you can guess some of those goals. You can guess that obviously I want to get married. You can guess that obviously I want to have children. I want to do what I have been programmed to do as a living creature, and that is to procreate. It would be very frustrating to die before pulling off my most basic function, which is to make more of me. One way to put it is thousands of years of things coming together and producing progeny, and I'm the one that fails. I would hate to die with those kind of regrets. And so I'm scared of dying with those regrets. But I'm not going to let those fears make me just get with anyone. Though, that's the one thing is, I'm not going to let it do that, because anything done out of fear or desperation is never a good idea. Never a good decision. So as badly as I want those things, I'm not going to rush into them. So hopefully eHarmony and Match work out. I was hoping Tinder and OkCupid and Bumble would work out, but they haven't worked out. They have not worked out for the last 2 years. Of course, pandemic's been happening for the last 2 years. Not very helpful. Still, been hoping. So we'll try the pay apps and see how that goes. By the way, Matchmaker still exists, so I can also do that in like a year. Let's see, this doesn't work out. Try Matchmaker next year. 2023, the year of the Matchmaker for me. That's what it'll be if things don't work out this year. Trying to make myself a catch. I'm trying to. And working out, as you know, like getting better and stronger. Of course, I gotta make myself more presentable, which, yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's one fear. The other fear, now I have told Jinx this many times, and because I'm like, Jinx, I need you to outlive me, is my greatest fear is the death of everyone else. I am scared of everyone else dying. I'm scared of losing everyone else. So like, I need everyone to live 100 years, so I die first. Like, that's how I feel about it. I'm scared of losing Jinx. I'm scared of losing my father. I'm scared of losing my sister. I am scared of losing my friends. I'm scared of losing y'all. And this is the one that leaves me up at night is, at some point, someone who was talked in our comments or in the Twitch or whatever, they'll say their last message and I'll never know. I'll never realize that. They'll just be gone one day. And you can let that bug you, you can let that not bug you. But that bugs me. There's just people on the internet who have been good to me, and I've been good to them. And someday we'll just never talk again. And we'll have no idea. I'll have no idea why. Or they'll have no idea why if I go out. Well, they might have some idea because, I do this, but that's an interesting existential thought to have, is just someday will be the last day. It's a very sad thing. And so I fear that greatly. It's the fear of loss. Like maybe some people fear losing possessions and things like that. I just fear losing relationships. I fear losing connections. Of course, the word's forever. Like, death is forever. So those are the things I fear the most. Exploring this is, I fear dying with regrets. And I will have regrets, there's no way. Everyone has regrets. But I fear dying with specific regrets. And I fear dying, and I fear everyone else dying. No matter what, I'm damned on all of this. And maybe I do pull off the life of being able to do everything I wanted without regret. And there's still going to be I'm still going to lose people important to me, so I can't do anything about that fear. Can't do anything about my own death eventually. I think it's perfectly fine to be scared of death. It's fine to be scared of a lot of things, because they're scary for a reason. But I think what's important is to not let it paralyze you and not let it stop you, because I know it stopped me many times in the past. I know I've gone through existential crises that just make me not do anything for a whole damn day. And that doesn't make it any better. If you allow yourself to be gripped with fear to the point that you don't do anything, then really the fear's already won, I suppose. And the other way to put it is, well, you should not allow yourself to be gripped by fear to that degree because it doesn't accomplish anything. While doing something can accomplish something. There is merit to overcoming fear, but there's also merit to having fear. Because fear allows you to not do dumb shit. There are some dumb things people do because they don't have any fear, and then they die. Or they're extremely lucky and they never die. Good for them, but some people are a little too cavalier with how they live, and then they go out. And then they're dead. You see, the thing is, the human body is amazingly resilient. It is able to deal with a lot of bad mistakes and a lot of bad choices. Diabetes, not number one, but number two. Number two is caused by excessively, of course, consuming sugar and all these things. You don't get that overnight. That comes from years. Years of doing it poorly. Same thing goes with, what's it called? Was it shingles? No, I'm not sure. What's the one? Gout. It's gout. Gout comes from a lifetime of poor eating habits and drinking habits. That's nothing that comes, you don't just genetically get, you can be more disposed, but it comes from just poor life habits. There are consequences to living life not so great. There's also injuries you sustain where, like, I did it like this for 30 years and now I'm hurt. It's like, yeah, you did it like this for 30 years. Your body did its best to compensate for it, and now your body can't compensate anymore. It's like driving a car. You can drive a car for a very long time. You can also drive a car for a long time without doing any maintenance, and eventually something's going to finally give out. Same thing goes with society. You can be a very, very crappy person for a long time. People, because of the kindness they have, will keep forgiving you and trying to help you out, but eventually you can finally burn those bridges, and then you're stuck alone. Or, because of all your risk-taking, you finally make the wrong mistake and die. My cousin drunk drove for 1 to 2 decades, and he had car accidents and never died. And he never learned. He just kept being an alcoholic. My understanding is he's toned it down now that he's gotten a kid, but I hope so. I'm not around him enough now. Like, he's always watching his kid, or he's always working, and he's always partying still, is my understanding. So I don't know. I would assume he doesn't drink and drive with his kid. That's what happens. You have people who are just very cavalier with their lives, and consequences happen, and some people, consequences don't happen. Good for them. I have another cousin who has caught COVID 4 times and hasn't died. Good for him. At the same time, what the hell is wrong with you? And then I've talked about it before, my coworker who did die from it. He never got vaccinated, he just kept going out, doing whatever he wanted, he never caught the virus, and then he finally catches Delta and it killed him. So close to maybe not dying? I don't know. Omicron could have killed him too. It has killed some people, just not as many as Delta. Delta really wrecks people. There's nothing else to dwell on. Any more of talking about this, it's just going to keep going cyclically into another thing about death or whatever. But no new ground to cover, at least not right now. There were points early in my life where I thought the best thing I could do was dying to help someone else. Like, maybe like college 20s is where I had that mindset. But now that I'm in a more accomplished position where I can actually have a living and a family, I'm more like, well, now the goal is more just have that family, have kids, create new life instead of trying to protect the life that's already here. Well, I'm also protecting life that's already here, but I'm not going to put my life on the line for anyone else necessarily. Who am I kidding? I'm still going to do that. If I can help another person, I will. I'd rather have kids before something goes wrong doing that. That's the vlog. I think next time we'll do just the top 10 anime from 2021. Because I've seen a bunch of anime, not all of it. And I thought I was going to do like a whole video thing, but now that I got a supervisor to prepare for, I better focus on that. Instead of focusing on a video that's going to not make me a #1 star on YouTube. So that is the vlog. I had fun. Hope you have fun watching, and that's what's all about, having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.